Unsolved Mysteries Rewind is a commercial-free podcast that focuses on cases featured on the television show Unsolved Mysteries with Robert Stack. Each episode features a single case and, if possible, updates and an expansion on the original story. Listener discretion is advised for listeners who are sensitive to true crime details.
Tonight on Unsolved Mysteries Rewind, two friends get together to discuss episodes of their favorite television show, Unsolved Mysteries. Will they find answers? Will anyone care? You may be able to solve a mystery.
Hello, this is Mark, and you are listening to Unsolved Mysteries Rewind. I am on with Laura. How are you doing, Laura?
I'm well, Mark. How about yourself?
Doing great. See, I'm saying great, not just good.
Oh, that's better.
No, I'm great. I'm great. Because we're talking about Unsolved Mysteries, and this is one of those stories that people always will ask me, when are you going to do the 49 Hugs episode?
Yes.
And here we are. We're doing it.
Yes, and that was kind of weird that someone made a comment on the Facebook page. Can you? I really want you to do this segment, and we were literally just talking about it. I was like, oh.
That's how it works. You start looking around. Am I being bugged? Are people paying attention too much?
Yeah, start checking everywhere.
Now, you did find two pretty good sources that I listened to, and I thought they did a really good job. And I don't always like to promote other podcasts, but when they do a good job, I think that we have to give the credit. That's Brain Scratch.
Yes.
And The Trail Went Cold, the classic Trail Went Cold. So,
yes, they both were very informative. And definitely credit to them. And I obviously got some information from other sources as well. But, yeah, they were the main sources of info, which very well researched, very good delivery. So, yeah, easy to follow.
Now, in our notes, we wrote the word dick 67 times. I just want to point this out. And they'll be and they'll be mentioned from time to time of shot dick, dick shot, little dick, dick and his friend, witness dick. These are things that I'm just putting out there. There might be a giggle here and there because I'm like a 12-year-old. So that's a little disclaimer. That's a little bit of a thing. But yeah, I had to do a quick search. Like, how many times did we write the word dick? 67. That's the answer.
That's so mature, Mark. Well done.
Welcome to American immaturity cast.
Oh, no, it's all good. I love it.
But and for our first, do you want to talk about who we're talking about? And
yes.
So
this week's case we will be discussing is the unsolved murder of Richard Gerald Hansen, a.k.a. Dick Hansen. There's the first Dick.
No. All right. I mean, people always ask these kind of questions. If my name was Richard, I would be Rich, Richie, or Richard. I'm sorry. I just couldn't walk around being called Dick.
Or Rick. I've got an uncle, Richard, but we call him Rick. So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess some people just don't care. Or they like it. They like being Dick.
I'm not a big fan. I don't know anybody called Dick, but yeah, every person that I know called Richard is like Rick or Richie or exactly. So, yes, not Dick.
Maybe it's an icebreaker or something. I don't know.
Maybe. Yes.
But so yeah, if you want to set us up.
Yeah, sure. So the unsolved murder of Dick Hansen. The date of the murder took place on April 29th, 1991 in San Jose, California. It was a segment on Unsolved Mysteries, Season 6, Episode 16. And as always, we seem to have two air dates. One says January 19th, 1994, but other sources claim that it first aired February 16th, 1994. So around start of 1994.
And of course, with reruns, it would get updated probably or edited, or we need to squeeze this. So it's very weird how Unsolved Mysteries edits their episodes.
Yes. Well, I guess they have to fit into a certain amount of time because isn't the show only an hour long, so they have to split it up fairly, I assume.
Yeah, I wonder what they would do. Like, all right, so we have an episode from 1991, and let's just say hypothetically one of the segments gets an update. Well, we have to add another 2 minutes now with this update, maybe, or not even a minute, even if it's 30 seconds. We have to find that 30 seconds within that. Let's say it's 48 minutes worth of time. I mean, you have to kind of like, do we cut this? Do we not? I wonder how, it would have to be a very, very tense job to kind of make it work. You don't want to screw up all the segments.
And make sure you don't cut out any relative sources of information, something that might trigger someone's memory if they watched it, so that's very true. And
I wonder if stuff did get cut and it never came back. Right?
Yeah.
You have to wonder. We have to wonder. But Dick Hansen, he was born in 1955. He had 2 parents, of course. And, I don't know how relevant his parents are to all of this. I mean, I think what is relevant is that he was considered a college football star.
Yes.
I did think that it was interesting that his father worked very closely on JFK's presidential campaign in Santa Clara.
Yes, he was a very prominent attorney and a U.S. court commissioner, so very important man. The family was wealthy, but apparently they were very down to earth.
But he couldn't have been, it's not like he was driving like a brand new car or anything like that. So were they considered wealthy?
I guess if you have such an important job, people assume you're wealthy, but maybe they just like to live frugally. Maybe that's why they were wealthy.
He's also in his 30s, so maybe it's like kind of like, well, I got to pay for stuff on my own.
Could be that as well. Yeah, maybe he wanted to sort of make his own money and buy his own things and earn his own rewards instead of just relying on his parents' money.
He had a big stature. He was about 255 pounds. I don't know how many kilos that is. Maybe like 140 or something.
Yeah, I'm not good with maths. But yes, he had the stature of a football player, and he obviously did play football in college. And he was an electronics industry manager, but he just left his job and he was brainstorming some new job ideas. So he obviously wanted to take his life in a different direction.
Yeah, I think that he also drank a bit. I think he partied pretty hard.
I got that impression as well.
Yeah, and I forget which of the podcasts pointed it out first. They could have both, actually, where he had an outburst. We're going to talk about a girl that he had gone out with this night named Jean. It's not her real name, but her name, we're going to call her Jean. And Jean and him had some type of altercation. They had been, I think, dating for a while. He had been just drank too much and he blew up at her. And from that point on, he went into rehab. So
yes,
you don't go into rehab for one blow up, I don't think. I guess if you're proactive, maybe you do. But I'm going to guess that there was more to this.
Yes. So I think, we can't prove it, but what we can prove is that he was married to a lady called Mary Bouton, I think is how you say it. And he had 2 daughters, Julie and Kathy Hansen. They were aged 13 and 11. Maybe the reason that they ended up divorcing, him and Mary, could have been due to his substance abuse and maybe his going down a spiral. And it was 5 years prior, but that could possibly be a reason. Then obviously he continued that behavior when he started dating his on-again, off-again girlfriend, Jean.
Now we're going to be speculating quite a bit in this episode, which is not always my favorite type of thing, but there's very little to go on with the main story. I know that people who are in this situation, like people who are really, really into sports, do gamble from time to time. And that was I was thinking about that as well. Like, is it possible that this was connected somehow to a type of debt that he owed? I don't know.
Could be. Maybe that's where all his money went.
Right. He was driving a 1985 Toyota pickup, which, it's not like it's that old. It's 6 years old at the time, but it was,
It's a car.
It's a car. I'm not putting it down.
No. Got four wheels and an engine.
I've certainly driven cars that were far older than just 6 years old.
Yes, me too.
So yeah, I mean, it's just one of these things that I'm not really sure. I don't think we get the full picture, and we're not going to ever get the full picture. But we have to assume a little.
A lot of this story was sort of up to interpretation. There was not as much information as I have found in other cases. I don't know whether they wanted to keep certain things private to obviously try and eventually get the killer is definite, but maybe they just kept things private and for that sort of sake, to make sure that the real killer would identify something that wasn't released to the media, wasn't released to people. So.
And that's something that I've mentioned before. I think maybe we've even talked about it, where I feel like Unsolved Mysteries adds these things intentionally, kind of like they leave out something intentionally so that it's their way of making sure you are who you are if you were to come forward.
Yeah, and they do it in such a small way as well. Like they'll say someone, a victim had a son when they really had a daughter, or
right, little stuff that doesn't really make a difference in the big scheme of things. But they're very clever when they do that. Sneaky, even.
Very sneaky. Yes.
Do you want to start on the timeline of this particular evening?
Yes. So on the night of the murder, which was April 29th, 1991, Dick and several friends went out to a bar for drinks and dinner. That included what we later found out to be his on-again, off-again girlfriend, Jean, which is not her real name, but they met at 10 p.m. at Original Joe's restaurant. Dick was well known at that restaurant. Then at 11:30 p.m. they left for, and I had to laugh when they said this, Boswell in the Prune Wells.
I don't even know what this means.
I don't know whether it's another restaurant, whether it's a club, whether it's a bar, or all of the above.
I'm going to do a quick Google search on that. That's a weird name. That's pretty specific.
I actually had to go back and read it several times. So I'm thinking, am I even saying it correctly or spelling it correctly? It's very strange.
Yeah, it doesn't show up. Maybe it's another Unsolved Mysteries type of thing.
Yeah. But if anyone knows, there's some place called Boswell in the Prune Wells in San Jose, California, hit us up.
Yeah, Boswell in the Prune Wells. It just makes, I don't know, it makes me think Pruno, which is a jailhouse wine.
There you go. Could have been.
Have you ever heard of Pruno?
Yes, I have. Yes.
It's funny. Years ago, we were watching something, and I'm like, I want to make one of these kind of jail booze things, because I was making wine and beer at the time. So I have all the equipment. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make a prune wine. And I did. It's so easy. Good? Honestly, if you want to just make a drink at home, it's so easy. It's foolproof almost. And I went down this rabbit hole of making booze from a number of weird things.
I mean, since it's
jelly,
got prunes, probably wouldn't want to drink too much of it.
No, it's not the worst thing in the world. There's a certain, it's not tasty or anything like that. But I've made jelly wine.
Wow.
By using grape jam,
Oh, you're clever. I have no idea what that.
But it's you want to stick to the regular Pinot Noir grape, getting a decent grape.
Yes. Well, when I read this first, speaking, that's not Prune Wells didn't get me. What got me was Boswell. And then I thought, isn't that the UFO thing? But then I realized it was Roswell.
Roswell.
So I was completely wrong.
Roswell in the Pruno. But yeah, it's kind of a funny name. But according to reports, Dick was in a good mood and he was happy where his life was heading.
Yes. And at 1 a.m., he and his girlfriend, Jean, so her face wasn't revealed on the Unsolved Mysteries segment or the other segment, which I found as well, which is an episode of Dates from Hell, which I'd actually never heard of until I saw this link.
Did you watch Dates from Hell by any chance?
I watched some of it, yes.
Okay,
yes.
I did not. I couldn't. I think I have it, but I couldn't track down the episode.
Oh, it's in. I think I might have actually put it in the notes up the top.
Oh, really?
I I don't think I found it. Yeah, here we go. Yes, I've got it here. The Dates from Hell segment featuring Jean. It's the third from the bottom.
I've seen Dates from Hell, and it's really overdramatic.
I hate to say it, but a lot of American shows like that kind of are. No offense.
Whoa. No, I'm kidding.
But, sometimes people like that sort of reporting, and, it adds to the theme of it, and, otherwise it would probably be super boring. So they have to make it interesting in some way. So,
you dang Aussies.
Sorry, what was that?
I said, you dang Aussies. Aussies, right? Aussies? Like Ozzy Osbourne, right?
Yeah, well, actually, not spelt like that. It's Aussie.
I have to throw a little Allsy, like Allsy. It sounds like I'm making fun of the accent when I say it like that.
Okay, everybody does.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you make fun of my accent, so it's fine.
I love your accent. I love American accent.
Golly, thank you. No, but I love the Australian accent, so we meet in the middle.
That's true.
But nonetheless, good. Dates from Hell episode, it is out there.
Yes.
And it is a very dramatic series.
Yes. So if anyone's interested, we can put the link up for there. But Jean is wearing a very bad wig by the looks of it.
No, do you think she's wearing a wig to disguise herself even more?
I don't know what she's doing. I just had to laugh.
But we see her face in that, right?
Yeah. I mean, it could be because it's many years later and she obviously doesn't feel that she's in the immense danger that she felt she was when the event first happened, which is a pretty decent response. I mean, I'd be pretty scared if I witnessed something like that, and you're the only witness. So, but yeah. So, if anyone wants to check that out, we have the link. But going back, to where we were, 1 a.m. he and Jean left in her car, and so I found out a bit more about their relationship, which you mentioned earlier. They knew each other for a few years, but they'd only sort of started dating for a few months.
Do we know how long he's been divorced at this point?
Yes, said about 5 years. So 1986. So quite a while. But I never found out whether Dick and his ex-wife had, whether their relationship was amicable. It appeared that they had no hard feelings that I could find, because he still got to see his children and, all of that. So, but so Jean and Dick were on again, off again.
It's weird that they don't even mention the wife, though, the ex-wife.
Yeah, I only found out her name in one of the podcasts, and then that they were divorced for 5 years. But in this segment, it seemed to show or say that he'd only just gone through the divorce.
Right, that's the way they alluded to it. They were basically saying that he was going through a divorce, or he had just been divorced.
Maybe they had separated 5 years ago, and
the paperwork finally went through.
Until then, which could be true. And I mean, that brings up, feelings of, not very nice feelings as well. No matter how long you've been separated, we finally signed that paper. It's not a nice feeling. So maybe he was just maybe that's why he left his job. That's why he got back with Jean. He thought,
and that's Jean's job to get his mind off of it.
Yeah, exactly.
But it is kind of weird that Jean would say, hey, let's go out to a bar, even though you're not drinking anymore.
Yeah, it could have been an idea of his friends, and maybe he just thought, I'll go and, I'm in a good place where I can resist the temptation. But, yeah, which we'll get to in a minute. But, so
people are always weird when you don't drink. It's just one of these strange things. Like, I don't, I'll drink, but when I'm out, sometimes I don't like to drink because it's like eating out. Like, I'm very particular about almost everything in life. So people, I'll say, no, I'm just having soda. It's like, why? What's wrong with you? It's like...
You could just say you're pregnant. That gets it.
Yeah, I'll say I'm pregnant. I'm in my 3rd trimester.
I can't drink.
I just need another pickleball. All right, I'm going to use that next time. I'm pregnant.
But yeah, it is kind of strange when, I did many years where I was a designated driver, and it didn't really bother me. I just wanted people to get home safe. But it is, you can't help but be a bit of a buzzkill when everyone is just getting really silly and you just want to slap them because they're just being so ridiculous. And you know that if you were in the same boat, you'd be having a good time, but you just have to sort of sit there and say, okay, time to go now.
Right.
Don't throw up.
We'd be the number one jerks.
Yeah. So, okay, time to leave. I'm done.
Right.
In bed by 10 p.m. That's my kind of night.
But they're done by 1. But you're saying they're done by 1, and by 1:30 they get back to the original Joe's restaurant where Dick had left his pickup truck.
Yes.
They decided to carpool to the other place.
Yes, they must have. Yeah. And I mean, I don't know, again, if Dick was going to be drinking, he shouldn't be driving anyway. But sorry, quickly going back to their relationship, they were Dick. They had only been together a few months, but they had broken up in the past due to substance abuse, and it was generally alcohol, but it was sort of hinted that it was also illicit drugs. And you mentioned that Dick had gone to rehab, and then I found out that apparently this catch up was the first time he'd actually seen Jean since leaving rehab. So but then Jean's story changes a little, and she starts saying that they actually had an argument in the restaurant, but she was able to calm Dick down. And it could have been because maybe he wanted a drink, and she sort of said, no, it's not a good idea. And then another story was Dick had ordered a drink, and then another story was he didn't have anything to drink. So we don't actually know.
Yeah, I heard that he got mad at her and then ordered a drink out of spite.
Yes, yeah, there's that as well. So could very well have been. And maybe she thought, well, if he just has one, that'll keep him happy. I'll be able to keep him calm. And then, she obviously she wasn't looking for an argument. It didn't seem like she wanted anything like that to occur. And she just sort of, make him happy type thing and, try and enjoy the evening. But yeah, so I don't know why her story kept changing, but yeah, basically the story.
I'm thinking it might have kept changing because maybe they were both inebriated, or maybe she was inebriated.
Yeah, she could have very well been drinking as well, which, I mean, just don't drink and drive, kids. Bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, I remember there was a slogan, if you have to drink and drive, drink Pepsi.
Exactly, yes.
But yeah, I mean, there's really no excuse for it, especially these days with Uber and such services like that.
Yes, and they are in their 30s as well, so they're not
you should
like
know.
20.
And you have kids, maybe you should know a little bit better.
A little bit, yeah, especially.
But we don't know that. We're also assuming. Like, we really don't know, but at the same time, they're in a bar. So, I don't know. Maybe they go for the wings. They're eating the kookaburra wings.
$1 wings, love it.
So, yeah, they get back to Original Joe's to pick up Dick's pickup truck. And while they're sitting in their car talking, they hear boom, 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 boom. And it's a muscle car behind them, even in the reenactment. And this car pulls up like a few centimeters from them.
Yes, right up behind them, yes.
You like my use of centimeters? But like just a few feet, like a foot, like a few inches, like very close. And in the reenactment, it's kind of unnerving to me how close the guy is. And,
yes. And,
yeah. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, and that's all right. And Jean actually mentioned to Dick that she thought it was funny that their car was the only car on the street, and then all of a sudden there's this car right behind them, and to the point where you better not reverse at all because you're just going to hit him.
Right.
And yeah, it can be unnerving. There's obviously plenty of room in the street. There's not like there's heaps of cars around and he's, just trying to scoop into the last spot available. It's just very, very unnerving. You're exactly right.
Yeah, it's like when you go to like a parking lot and you park, like, and there's no one around you, but the guy needs to like park right next to you or something.
Always the way. I don't understand why they do that.
Right. It's always fun.
Frustrating.
Yeah.
But at first they figured that the driver was going to the mailbox, which was basically right next to Dick's car. So, I mean, Jean asked Dick if he thought that they should move up a bit to give him room, but Dick said, no, he's got plenty of room, which we just discussed, a lot of, room on the street.
Well, it makes no sense anyway, because if it's a mailbox, you have to get out of the car anyway to put a letter in the mailbox.
Yeah, there's no drive-through.
As far as I know, not in this car. Unless it existed back in 1991, but I don't think so.
No, you had to get out anyway, but obviously it was clear that's not what he was doing, because the man in the car just sat in the same position the whole time and just looked at them while Dick and Jean were talking.
And he's a creep.
Oh, yes. I mean, I think I put a picture. Yeah, I put a picture of
Yeah.
the screenshot of I remember when Unsolved Mysteries finally came back on Foxtel, which I guess is like your version of cable,
Mm-hmm.
in the early 2000s, and they started running it on the crime channel. This was one of the very first segments I rewatched, and I don't know why, but I got so terrified just of this one segment. I remember being really, really disturbed by it. I guess because it was dark, it was watching it at night. I was by myself and thinking, oh, I'm so glad I'm not in the car right now. Like,
you know who he looks like? I'm posting a picture in our notes. I don't know. It's maybe not exactly, but I think he looks like Val Kilmer now.
Oh, he does.
Right?
Oh my gosh, he totally does.
Like Val Kilmer was like oh my God, like great looking guy when he was, when he was Jim Morrison in The Doors and everything like that. But, we all get older and everything. But now he's,
I don't think he's helped himself, though. Didn't he have like a lot of plastic surgery or something?
I'm not sure.
And I think he had some work done. And I mean, I don't know what kind of demons people have with that, so I'm not going to judge. But honestly, I think sometimes you just go too far, whether you're a man or a woman, and you just have to just try and age gracefully. But yeah, he does look very, very similar.
Yeah, right. And that's I kept thinking, like, who does he look like? And yeah, Val Kilmer.
But he also doesn't actually look that menacing. Like,
no, but that's what's menacing about it. Is kind of like he's kind of like this doughy faced nerd.
Yeah, he could be the Zodiac for all we know.
Right, and they even kind of played around with that. I think it's very unlikely.
Oh, I think it's very unlikely as well. Yeah, definitely not. Considering that started in the 70s. So,
but they did describe his car as they described it in a weird way. I just want to clear it up. So they called it a 1970 GTO, which it was not. It was a Le Mans. A GTO is not a Le Mans. A Le Mans is not a GTO. Two different cars.
I believe you.
I used to have a 1970 GTO, and it was a great car, and it was red with a black vinyl top with red interior.
Oh, fancy.
Very nice car. And yeah, so I mean, the bottom line is it was, GTO is a GTO, but they're very similar body styles and everything. But yeah, it was definitely a Le Mans. Not that it really matters, but it kind of does to me.
To people that love cars, it matters.
It kind of does. So that's the kind of car he's having. And when they kind of were just uneasy from the way he was looking at them, but they did the right thing. They just kind of got in their car and said, let's get the hell out of here. Which I thought was a big step for Dick, because Dick seems like a big tough guy. That's the impression I'm getting. And and I think later on we see it even more. And for him to just kind of turn the other cheek and get in his truck and drive away, it's fine.
Yeah, well, apparently one of his friends said that he was, very, obviously a big guy, and he wasn't really unnerved by a lot of things. So he didn't take intimidation like that. So maybe he just thought there's nothing to worry about. He's just a guy being a little creepy, but,
he's the intimidator, normally.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So he's thinking, that, this guy's fine. He's just, whatever, just about to go home or whatever. So basically Jean agreed to follow Dick in her car because she was unfamiliar with the area. And as you said, Dick was driving a Toyota pickup. And Jean
it's a 76. I'm sorry. For some reason, I thought it was an 86.
Oh, yes. No, 76. Yeah.
He's got at the time, that car was worthless, Yeah. I mean, now you would buy one of these and it would be a classic car. But back then, it was kind of a junker. She had a nice car. She had an 85 Lincoln Mark 7, which is actually kind of a cool car.
Well, it's got your name in it.
Well, that's what makes it cool, obviously. No, but it's actually a really kind of cool car if you like cars.
Yeah, if you do. Like I said, I'm sorry, everybody, but I am not a car person. Does it have four wheels? Does it have an engine? Does it stop
and start? Good to go.
Yeah. I don't care what color it is. I don't care what it looks like. Sorry, not my thing.
Yeah.
But no, fair enough if you like cars and you know about them, and that obviously helps, in cases. So, yes. So they start leaving. And,
Well, where are they going? Let's discuss that a little bit.
Where are they going? That's the question. Did they have to get on a certain road and then they were going to part ways and go to each other?
We know where they were going. They were going home. Yeah. They were going to go home and reconcile.
Yeah. Some good making up time. Yep.
Yes.
So she was unfamiliar with that area. And
Dick had a mixtape ready at home.
Oh, yes. Some candles, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, yes, now, when they started leaving in their separate vehicles, the man started following Jean's vehicle specifically. And when they arrived at the traffic light, the man followed them as they made their left turns.
This was creepy. Right? I mean, this is where things get a little bit like, all right, now what's really going on?
I always think if someone does the same thing as you 3 times, like starts following you you turn left, they turn left, you go around a roundabout, they go around a roundabout, blah, blah, blah. If it's 3 times, that's when I start getting either annoyed or slightly worried.
Mm-hmm. That's where you pull over almost and let them pass.
Yes. And then you can obviously tell for sure if they're...
Then you do a quick U-turn and go and head to the police department, which is what they should have done.
Which is exactly what I said later on in my notes. I said,
Couldn't
I don't
understand.
More. I will get to that. But yeah, exactly. But basically, along another road, Jean changes lanes and then back again, and he followed her exactly, but he was kind of obviously behind her.
But the way they reenacted it, if that was close to what was really happening, because he was like right on her tail, and every movement he was mimicking.
Yes, almost straight away.
Yeah, I'll say it like now, and I think you're on board with this, at least as a theory. I don't think Dick was the focus. I think it was Jean, which is one of the reasons why she doesn't want her name associated to this.
Exactly right. Yes. I mean, if he really, the guy would have got a good look at Dick when Dick got out of the car to go to his own car. So it was something to do definitely with Jean. I don't know if maybe it was just because she was a woman and the guy was just weird and he thought, oh, now this woman's alone in her car, not realizing that Dick was actually helping.
Oh, that's her. Yeah. I wonder if he's like, I didn't even notice that he was still driving with her. Yeah.
So maybe he's just like, oh, I've got her alone now.
And then just hide, doesn't even notice.
Oh, it's creepy, man.
Oh, man, yeah.
But yeah, so definitely targeting Jean, not Dick. And at the next traffic light, Dick signaled to her to follow him onto the freeway. And the man continued to follow them, Jean, for over 10 miles, even after they pulled onto the freeway. And Jean was obviously starting to get even more freaked out. She changed lanes a couple of times, thinking that she could outwit him. She even slammed on her brakes really fast.
Brake check.
She said in the segment, I'll be damned. What did she say? I'll be doggone damned or something if he didn't put on his brakes just as quickly.
She had a lot of weird phrases.
She did. Yes, she did. And she felt as though the man was basically reading her mind, instantly doing exactly what she was doing. And she goes, well, what's she saying in the segment? She goes, okay, you rascal.
Right, it was so weird. Okay, rascal.
Thinking, yeah, sure, that's what I say when I'm scared that someone's following me. Oh, yes, you rascal. I'm gonna, try and outwit you. I'd just be scared to death. But so Jean was obviously getting more and more scared by the minute. She finally pulled over beside Dick's truck as they were driving and yelled at him that they should go to the police because of the relentless man. But because they were on a very loud freeway, he couldn't hear her and sort of signaled to her to follow him off the next exit.
No cell phones, of course, back in 1991.
No cell phones, exactly. I mean, yeah, now you'd be like, I would not be shouting at someone when I'm trying to drive on a very speedy freeway.
No, you'd be texting while driving.
Yeah, or doing that. Just make the call, guys. Use your Bluetooth or whatever.
Yes.
Make the call. And so they got off at the next exit, and obviously the man followed them both. And Jean was that upset that she nearly actually missed the exit. So she even sort of at the last second pulled off the exit, and the man in the car did exactly the same thing.
Crazy.
And I did mention this, that I've actually been road rage before. I remember I accidentally cut someone off, and I actually honestly did not mean to, put up my hand to say, look, really, really sorry. And the sun was setting, so it wasn't exactly nighttime yet, but they just got mad and they started following me. And I remember I ended up driving to the station. And I'm thinking, it's not that I put my finger up or anything. I literally waved and said, I'm really sorry. That was a stupid mistake. I admit it. And
even if you gave them the finger, or in America we call it the bird, there's no reason to start chasing somebody. I mean, what is that? Are we in third grade or something?
Yeah, it's like, I'm going to dip dog on you. I'm telling my mommy.
Like, what's your end game when you're chasing somebody?
I don't know. And, I've actually heard of people, I think it was one of my family members, one of her friends accidentally cut someone off, ended up at a traffic light. The guy pulled up next to her, got out of his car and punched in her window.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And tried to attack her in the car. So
that's horrifying.
It's very, very scary. That's why when I was being road raged, I tried to make sure I didn't really stop. I just went straight to the nearest police station, which luckily wasn't too far away. And the guy just kept on going. But I was really worried. I could have been in that situation. What do you do when you stop? Could they try and attack you? Do they bump you with their car? Oh, I just don't understand people.
Well, I drive like an old lady. I do. So I was driving somewhere in Brooklyn, and there was a yellow light, so I slowed down and stopped. And I guess the truck behind me was not happy about this, like a tow truck. He cuts around me, blocks my car in the front, and gets out of the car and starts yelling at me.
Oh,
and
my God.
Yeah, and I'm with my wife, and I could normally handle this kind of stuff. Like, I'll laugh at somebody, and it's like, what's wrong with you? My wife is getting very upset. So,
of course.
And I'm like, I don't know. And the light changes, and the guy's like, get out. Like, I'm not getting out of my car. Like, all I did was stop at the light.
Well, they do say when it turns yellow, don't speed up, slow down.
Yeah. So I don't know. My wife called 911 because the guy was there for a few minutes, and I'm like, I opened the window enough for me to go, I'm not getting out of my car.
Good job.
And there's a bunch of people honking and everything, and it's like, I don't know. I didn't even stop short though. But it's just amazing how one thing can really trigger somebody. I mean, say that guy had a gun. Thank God your friend didn't get hurt, but somebody bashed her window? That's insane to me.
Obviously people didn't have their coffee this morning. It's very interesting. People in cars, people that feel one little thing triggers them, like you said, and they just use their car as like a weapon almost. And it's really, really scary. And it happens more than people realize. And it can get really nasty. And so many bad things can happen, accidents and
it happens to men just like it happens to women. I mean, that's the thing. But, I will say men are extremely douchey on the streets. It's men who are, starting these road rage things.
I find some women in four-wheel drives, they scare the heck out of me. They're obviously soccer mums or something. They just feel empowered having this huge car. And so, number one, they don't really know how to drive it. And number two, they get so angry. And I'm thinking, oh, no.
Yeah, this might sound a little sexist, but I don't think that a woman who's like 5 foot or 5'1", which is like a 1.5 meters tall, should be getting into like a Range Rover or like a lifted Jeep or these SUVs that are just, these like huge SUVs. I just think there should be a height requirement, just like when you go to like Disney World, there's a height requirement on rides.
You must be this high to drive.
Right. And I just don't think that, heels should not be allowed. And I feel this way for short men too. Short men should not have, there should be a height requirement. And that's it.
Well, if they can't see over the steering wheel, it's obviously going to be a disaster.
Yeah. So hopefully that's not too sexist. And if they don't know how to control
a big car, then don't drive a big car.
And those trucks weigh like 3 times what a normal car weighs. So, yeah, we have tons of those people.
Yeah, so do we. It must be a worldwide thing.
But back to the thing where they finally pull over.
Off the freeway,
right?
yes.
Yeah. Do you want to describe what happens when they pull over? This is crazy.
Yeah. And they were So Jean said in the segment that she was really hoping that the man would just drive right past.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he got tired of the game, whatever game it was, and she just thought, oh, thank gosh, he's gone past. But no, when they both stopped, he pulled up right behind Jean again. And Jean, when Dick sort of started talking to her, Jean pointed the man out, and Dick actually went out and confronted him. So obviously,
why didn't they just say? She should have said, "Get in your car. We're going to the police station right now."
Yes, yeah, exactly. She obviously said, "This guy's still following me," and Dick obviously, as we said, got a big stature, a little intimidating. Maybe thought he could,
he's pissed off. He's feeling intimidated. This is somebody who's probably not easily intimidated.
Yeah, and so he just wants to fix the problem instead of getting the police involved. He obviously thinks the guy's just being an idiot, and goes and, well, I mean, I don't know. He just goes and confronts him, which I wouldn't do, but then again, I wasn't him. But so Dick obviously basically goes up and the man winds down his window. They start talking. Jean saw the man gesture towards her car when Dick asked him what he wanted. And Jean couldn't actually hear what was being said, but she was watching the men in her rearview mirror. And the man pointed to Jean's license plate, which was a personalized license plate that read 49er hugs. So 49R.
Or hugs. Just pointing to the car. Because I don't know how you can point to the license plate without without pointing at the car.
Yes. I don't know how, if she couldn't really hear what was being said, why would she be so specific that he definitely pointed to my license plate?
But Dick seemed like he was gobsmacked by, like, are you kidding me? Like that type of attitude. And he's like, get the blankety blank out of here.
Yes. And Jean said, he goes, get the blankety blank out of here.
What's blankety blank? All right, in your opinion.
Well, it's obviously a swear word.
But it's two blankety blank. That's 2 words. This is not a family show. So I mean I was going to say, like, get the fucking shit out of here or something. I'm putting in a little bit of an accent.
Get the bloody hell out of here. Get the
bloody hell. Maybe he was from England.
Sorry, my dad's British. I'm sorry.
Was Dick? I didn't know Dick was English. All right.
No, get the bloody hell out of here.
Get the bloody hell out of here.
No, well, I guess.
Bloody hell makes the most sense right there.
Yeah, but
it's not exactly blankety blank though.
Yeah, you can't beat blankety blank. Next time I'm annoyed, I'll be like, "Oh, get the blankety blank out of here."
It's a yada yada.
Oh yes, yada yada yada. Never heard from him again.
Get the yada yada and the yada yada out of here. What?
Love.
Seinfeld, of course.
And so I've got to love Seinfeld.
Yes.
So Dick obviously had enough, and Jean suddenly got back in the car and looked in a rearview mirror, and then all of a sudden, Dick is shot twice.
You just, in the reenactment, you just see the flashes and
Yep, and 2 obviously at close range, very close range.
He was leaning in the car from in the reenactment. He was right there.
Yes, and Jean was obviously in shock. She sort of rushed, get out the car to see what she could what just happened. She froze, which, in fear, as you would do. Now, she said that her and the man actually exchanged stares back and forth for a few seconds. Now, when people have something traumatic happen to them, they can claim that it was a really long time. But in actuality, it was probably only at most 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So
she said 5 to 10 seconds, which I think is more accurate, probably.
Yeah.
Although 5 to 10 seconds is a bit of time.
Yeah, it's very, and I don't know whether, obviously she was frozen in fear, but I don't know, maybe the guy was like, now what do I do? Do I kill her? I mean, was she my intended target? Do I go off? Do I, what do I do? He's been seen, obviously, and for quite a while as well. Like, obviously, it's not someone that they've just come across. This is someone that's been tailgating them for, miles.
About an hour now, right? I mean, it seems like it's been about an hour. No, about a half hour, right?
Yeah, quite a long time. And, if she's always looking in the rearview mirror, you're going to get a good look at someone. They stare for a few seconds, and then he just takes off past her. And apparently she, in the reenactment, she sort of bends down in her car, to just in case he's going to maybe shoot use the gun as he drives by, but no, he just goes right by. When Jean saw the coast was clear, she ran over to Dick, who was obviously lying on the ground. His eyes were half open, and she tried to feel for a pulse, but it didn't look as if Dick was breathing, so Jean started to give him CPR. And like you said, there were no cell phones back then, so she kind of had to yell for help.
Yeah, and a passerby, I think she flagged somebody down and they stopped.
Yeah. Now, two sources here. One claimed that Dick was dead by the time paramedics arrived, and another source claimed that he died at 3:10 a.m. at the Stanford University Hospital, but maybe he was just pronounced dead.
Right, because it has to be pronounced. You have to be pronounced dead by a physician, I believe.
Yeah, that's right. He's got to sign the death certificate and all of that. So, which is really, really sad. But going back to the no cell phone thing and how quiet the night was, even though it was the middle of the night, there were no other witnesses. So no one even heard the shots or called the police, even though it was off a freeway, but there are actually many houses around. Mm-hmm. So you would think that the freeway noise would have subsided somewhat. They're almost like in the burbs type area off a freeway. There'd be many houses around, maybe not many cars, but I find it difficult to, I don't know, I just think it's very weird that no one even heard her even screaming for help or the shots. No one heard the commotion. The only reason that paramedics were even called is because someone had just happened to drive by.
I don't know. The way freeways are here, I would imagine that they're far away enough from the houses that you wouldn't be able to. I mean, at least that's the way it's set up here. Like we have the multi-lane freeways. Then to the left and the right, it's kind of woods.
Oh, okay. See, some of ours are like that, but a lot of ours are you kind of get off the exit and you go onto like a quieter road and there's houses lining the streets.
I mean, that exists too, but I don't know. I got this idea that it was pretty rural.
Yeah, well, I don't know much about California. I only went to Hollywood, but
only.
Yeah, only, yeah.
It's a fun place.
I saw the Hollywood sign. Didn't think much of LA, but then again, I haven't been to the other nice areas that I know of, so I can't really say. But it could be that they were in like more of a quieter area, more of a rural area with woods and such. So there is that.
Now, what about the whole idea of not looking at the plate? Or there not being a plate, because even in 1991, you needed to legally have a front plate in California. In some states in the United States, you do not need to have a front plate. You can just have your rear plate. But in California, you need two plates.
Was that the case in 1991?
Yes. I'm pretty sure it's always been like that in California. Same as in New York. Okay, but in Pennsylvania, for instance, it's just the rear plate.
Well, chances are if he's just shot someone, he's not really following the rules of the law, is he?
Yeah, but if he's out and about, it's an easy way to get pulled over.
Yeah, there is that.
I mean, it could have also been from another state, right? It could have been from a state where you didn't need a front plate.
That's very true. That's quite true. And his car was registered in that state. Yeah, it's interesting about that. That's just a little something extra.
It would be the first thing I would think of personally. Is what's their plate? Yes.
Then again, though, where did I put my notes?
I mean, then again, I'm kind of used to this. Like I've been in car accidents. I mean, for all we know, she's never had anything like majorly scary happen to her. I mean, my first reaction is like plate, or take a picture of the accident or do something like that.
Yeah. So she was she was obviously very much in shock, not only because following her, but also because of what happened with Dick and the fact that she was the only witness. She was scared he'd come after her. I guess she was just, and when you suffer something traumatic, eyewitness accounts aren't really that reliable because your memory gets a little fuzzled. You have, in some cases, PTSD, so post-traumatic stress disorder. You tend to maybe think you remember things when you actually don't. Or things come up later. So she's probably, just very much in shock. And even years later still doesn't really, maybe again, that's why her stories keep changing. So, but yes. So speaking of a license plate, her 49er Hugs. So basically because the event that happened to Dick, his murder, was so random. Investigators had trouble finding a suspect and the motive in the case. So in most cases, the motives center around either basically sex, money, or drugs.
I love the way they said that. The way they broke it down like that.
Yeah, and it's true. It is
really
quite true.
Is.
And you know, they just couldn't at the time center on any of those things. And this is where I don't know if I believe this, but Jean and some of the investigators speculate that the killer's stature resembling that of a football player and her personalized license plate of 49er Hugs, which was in reference to the San Francisco 49ers, might have gotten Dick killed by a fanatical fan of a rival team.
I don't buy this.
Neither do I. That is very far-fetched.
But football fans are nuts.
They are.
So, no offense to the fans out there who might also like football. It's just there are some fans that are crazy. And oddly enough, he looks to resemble a particular player who screwed up the Super Bowl, the World Series, I almost said.
Yes.
Which is the big deal football game of the year.
Yes. So we'll get to that. But we don't know. Then again, like you said, people have been killed for less. Stupid reasons. And the killer seemed quite placid until he shot Dick, but he could have been under the influence or several influences. So we don't know. But yes, basically what I discovered, which was very interesting that you just mentioned, is that Dick it said that night when they were at the restaurant, the original Joe's restaurant, someone actually mistook Dick for a 49er football player by the name of, so they said it was a player called Barry Hartman, but that player actually doesn't exist. So they're figuring it might be an actual player called Harris Barton. And when I looked at a photo, I actually do see... Yeah,
I'm so glad you dug up a picture of him. I see the resemblance a little.
In the hair and the stature and the nose. But, but basically this player was said to have been responsible for one of the 49ers' failed Super Bowl wins to a team known as the Bengals, which I've never heard of, but then again, I'm not American.
I don't feel very American now either because I don't know.
I thought the Bengals were a band, but anyway.
They are. There you go. Walk like an Egyptian.
So was Dick basically shot because this Harris Barton was responsible for losing a game? Maybe the man in question had a lot of money invested in that game, and when Barton lost, he lost a lot of money and thought obviously that Dick was Barton, so wanted to take revenge. Again, very unlikely, but you did say football fans are very fanatical, and I know they are here as well, and they take it super seriously. It's like a religion.
Yeah, I mean, here, we have a few retired NFL, like I graduated with somebody who was on like the in the Giants, I think.
Oh, yes, yeah.
And he'll go to like an event at school, like he has kids in my grade, and I went to high school with him, so it's like I'll be talking to him, and people do kind of treat him kind of like, whoa, he's from the NFL, and I'm just like, it's Louis, it's like not a big, you know what I mean? Like it's like I used to tutor this guy in math, like it's not a big deal. Like he's just a regular person, but yeah, I mean, I guess to people who love the sport, he is a bit of a celebrity. He is a real celebrity, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, people do go crazy for it, and I understand if that's their passion. But it still seems very, very bizarre reason to kill someone. But anyway, so yeah, there is a resemblance between the two, but I don't.
But imagine, can we just like? I'm sorry to interrupt you, but imagine like that guy had like his whole life savings, like betting his whole life savings, and this guy fumbled, and he lost everything. He went from having like a Corvette to now he has like the Le Mans. And maybe he's like, he snapped and he's like, this is my chance to get him. I saw him in the restaurant. I'm going to follow them.
Yes. But then again, why did he target Jean's car? I mean, yes, we know the license plate, but why didn't he just target Dick?
Maybe he did. Maybe he was targeting them the whole time. And they just didn't notice.
Maybe, yes, maybe.
And it just so happens that, like, wow, look, that's definitely him. Look at the plate,
Yeah, because they were in the same car for a while. That's very true.
I don't know. I mean, the whole thing is kind of, it's really out there. It's like very much like a movie of the week type of thing. But I guess I could believe it on some level.
Yeah, like I said, some people will never understand people's motives sometimes. It's just...
And this one is... That's why I think people remember this so well. It makes no sense. I mean...
It's like you said, a lot can be left to interpretation. I mean, a lot of different theories about it because it's just so random. But this was interesting as well. Detectives didn't release some information. So this included the caliber of the bullets and where Dick was actually hit on his body. Also, the true identity of his friend Jean was omitted as she was the only witness to the crime, which makes, I guess, sense. Police had no idea why Dick and Jean were targeted, but Gerald Hansen, who's Dick's father, was told it was because Dick's car was blocking the mailbox.
Which is silly to me. That doesn't really make sense.
Yes, and he also learnt that Dick was shot in the chest and neck and that he never regained consciousness. Now, I found it weird that the police didn't reveal the info, but how did the father know? But I guess thinking about it clearer, they probably told the family just privately.
Right.
They told the immediate family. And they were probably told not really to release it, for the first few years.
And you point out that the mailbox theory, it's silly. It's silly, but I guess everything's plausible at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I said, people get pissed off for the silliest reasons. I remember I was in a supermarket one day, had a trolley. I turned the corner and somebody just happened to walk in sort of the same direction, and they got annoyed that I was about to bump into them. And I thought, wow, if that's the worst thing that happens in your life, then you're doing really well. So I just think, just an example, but something, if something like that small really, really, really annoys you, you should.
Some people are just wound up. People are just looking for any reason to explode.
They just need a chill pill.
Yeah,
and the good kind.
You know what? If you're feeling stressed, what you should do is just download a whole bunch of episodes of Unsolved Mysteries Rewind and sit back and have a Pepsi.
Oh, I totally agree.
Or have an adult beverage if you are not driving.
Yes, exactly right. I mean, that always relaxes me. I mean, I could literally go to sleep though with the sound of Robert Stack's voice.
Oh, totally. So, I mean, that's another thing. You have an almost unlimited amount of hours of well, not unlimited, but 100, at least 100 hours of Unsolved Mysteries on YouTube for free.
Quick question. Sorry to sort of go down a rabbit hole, but speaking of hosts, what do you think of the next host, the Dennis Farina?
All right, so I'm one of these people who I have a less popular opinion about him. I don't think he's so bad. I also don't. I mean, these are actors and they're reading scripts, and people do give Robert Stack a lot more credit. A lot of people want to hate me right now. I just think he didn't write the script. He's the actor. He's reading the script.
He's got an ominous voice?
Yeah, he does. And he has a beautiful voice, had a beautiful voice, great actor, and he was perfect.
Yeah.
I don't think that Farina's work is bad or anything. I think it's just as good.
I think he did quite a good follow-up job from Stack. I think that obviously they tried to make the show a little bit more modern, and he was just lending himself to that. So I think they give him a bad rap too. I mean, for me, it'll always be, I prefer Robert Stack, but that's just because that's what I was originally used to. I mean, if you actually go, I think you know this, but actually even before Stack hosted, I think Carl Malden and Raymond Burr hosted a couple of episodes. And I actually really liked them hosting.
Now, I'm going to go out even further on this little statement. And I've certainly criticized the official Unsolved Mysteries podcast quite a bit. And it's really grown on me, though. In the past couple of weeks, I went in, I listened, and I really learned a lot, and I really started enjoying it. And I have to say, Steve French, who's the host of the podcast, I think he does a hell of a job. I don't like the commercials. I'm never going to change my mind about commercials.
I agree.
But Steve French, he does a hell of a job. I think he does I think he deserves to be right there next to Stack and Farina. Is it Farina?
Yes, Dennis Farina, who's actually also deceased as well, which is a shame.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I think Stephen French is very, very good. So yes, anybody, if you want another podcast to listen to, there's the official Unsolved Mysteries podcast. But obviously, listen to Unsolved Mysteries Rewind first, because we rule.
Well, we do casual conversation and real world discussion while they have a team of people doing breaking news type of thing. It's very different.
It's very different, and I do like the officialness of it all. I think it's really well put together, and at the start I wasn't sure, but then I really got into it. But yeah, you get suddenly into it, and then there's a damn commercial. I'm like, all good feelings gone. Yeah,
all of it. And I have to say, I doubt they're listening. You have to just kind of tune those commercials to being a little bit more realistic. I don't think that your average Unsolved Mysteries listener is driving the new V8 Audi, which is like a $75,000 car.
I know I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, I don't know what you put there in its place, but I don't know. That just seems to me to be a bit of a lofty goal. It seems like you're missing your mark. You're not really understanding your audience so much.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't know why, but yeah,
everybody's got to pay bills. I don't know how we don't have to, but we don't.
Thank goodness. I mean, we could just pretend. It's like, buy this new face cream. It works wonders for your acne.
This episode is brought to you by Pepsi. So, yeah, I mean, my other podcasts actually finance this podcast. That's the way it should work, I think.
Yeah.
And I don't even promote my other podcasts. So how about that?
Well, maybe you should just quickly do it now.
No, thanks.
Yes. No, fair enough.
No way. Nope.
No, that's
although I will say Crimes of Long Island, which does not finance anything, is a podcast that's coming back. So that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, that's wonderful. That, and every podcast I find is different. It's got different, ways of being delivered. And that's what I like about podcasts, that they're not all the same. So,
yeah, I love listening to all these different shows. But definitely, without a doubt, Steve French does a great job. And 5 stars.
Absolutely.
Give them a rating right after you give us a 5-star rating. But back to Gene and Dick, who I have to wonder if they would have made a decent couple had this not happened. Maybe they would have had some stuff to work through, but maybe they would have worked through it.
Yeah, well, every relationship has its ups and downs for sure. But so Jean mentioned in the Dates from Hell segment that she and Dick had actually met years before in 1978, but only began a romantic relationship in 1989. She did say it was rocky due to substance abuse from his side, but she's actually very obviously keen to find Dick's killer. She won't give up, her quote, until she finds who's responsible. She did post thousands of flyers promoting the Dates from Hell segment that she was on, to get the word out there. I felt sort of bad for thinking this, but then at the same time not. I thought, could she be so wanting to find out
it?
Yeah, sorry.
No, I'm just saying, because it's like you don't want to be the bad guy.
No, I kind of.
I agree with you. Was there a boyfriend? Was Dean? Yeah. Is it possible that Jean knew a guy, had a relationship, and it went sour, and the guy was stalking her? I've been there with an ex-boyfriend following a girl I was dating, and he was following us. This actually happens.
Creepy. Yeah. I've had a few guys that just don't get the no is no, and they just don't stop they don't stop bothering you, and it's just it's quite creepy. But maybe there was just something from Jean's past, or they just only now reconnected, so maybe there was a jealous person that was upset that Jean had ended it.
Wouldn't be the first time. It's something that is just, and there's a lot of I'm going to imagine that, let's say that's not true, that Jean would have a lot of guilt anyway. I should have insisted that we went to the police. I should have done this. I should have done that. I'm sure there's a lot of guilt that she has. Yeah. Poor girl.
Yeah. She, 1,000 other scenarios would go through your head. If I did this, maybe he'd still be alive. But unfortunately, that's just obviously the way it played out. But yeah, you would have a lot of guilt, even though, you're not responsible. But if there was a boyfriend, and maybe Jean actually recognized the man in the car, maybe it was the ex-boyfriend, and she just, she didn't say who it was because she wanted to protect the guy, or she didn't want to bring harm to herself after what happened to Dick. If he could do it to Dick, he can do it to me. So
like, I can't believe what he just did. That's crazy.
Yeah. So, but then I thought to myself, the fact that Jean is still, after all these years, trying to bring closure, it's unlikely she'd want to bring attention so much to the case if she was somehow involved. But you said, unless associating herself makes it look like she cannot be considered as involved.
Yeah, I hate being the dick here. No pun intended.
No. But I don't think she's a stupid lady. I think she's quite smart. So she, if she was involved, let's try and get the case out there. And, that's hiding the fact that, hey, I am involved, So.
Yeah. And as you're saying, another motive could have been that maybe the killer saw Dick fighting with Jean and wanted to intervene on some level.
Yes. So this argument that they said, that Jean claimed happened at the restaurant, maybe Dick, either had one too many drinks, he was just, high on anger. He lashed out at Jean, whatever the reason was. This man witnessed it, didn't like the way that Jean was being treated, and, maybe he was on some sort of substance himself, said, he should teach the guy a lesson.
Yeah.
Why is Dick doing that to her? Rah, rah, rah. And yeah, that could very well be another motive,
Maybe he was somebody from his past having to do with drug or alcohol abuse and looking for revenge, or owed him some money, or did some, I don't know. We did learn, we didn't bring up that Dick liked to do a lot of practical jokes.
Yes, he did. Yes. So apparently, and this is what I
don't know where you got this one. This blew me away that he would actually, if you're going to talk about the money thing.
Yes. So let me.
Oh my God!
Let me see where I'm.
It's almost at the very end. It's the last paragraph in the notes.
Okay.
Starts with Julie Mead.
Oh yes. So.
I know I jumped a bit ahead, but if you want me, I'll start. So on the Sleuth website, which I'm forgetting the name of it, or Sitcoms Online, we learned that Julie, who is one of Dick's daughters, posts.
Yes.
And she thanked people for having an interest in the case. We don't know if this is really her. We say this all the time, but she welcomed people's questions. Now, I think you left out a word here, but says, however, that was in 2013 and one has reached out to her.
Oh, sorry.
No one?
Sorry, yeah. So she did post in 2013 and she, basically said, can't believe that this, my father's case is still really, really talked about. It's a good thing. We want to get justice. She said, I welcome any questions. If anyone wants to know something, it might help solve the case. That was back in 2013 and no one replied. And I thought that was quite strange. But she also made another comment later on stating that, and it got a lot of comments, she stated that once the UN Unsolved Mysteries segment was released on YouTube, one comment was that they knew who was responsible for Dick's murder and that Dick had once paid for drugs with a wad of fake money as a joke.
Oh, my God.
Yes, and it had irritated the dealers as they felt it made them look bad, which obviously is kind of true. It's not a nice thing. And so because of that, they were mad and they took revenge on Dick. And we know from his college days, one of his friends commented that he, liked to play jokes and they were all in harmless fun. But obviously this with the wad of fake money, that was just, he'd gone too far.
Don't play jokes.
World, don't joke.
Yeah, not with drug dealers and using a wad of fake money. I don't know. That's also counterfeit money. I mean, it's possible. For all we know, he was doing counterfeiting. I mean, this is all very crazy.
Yeah, it was sort of a lead that came out of nowhere and you go, police said it was a dead lead, but did they really investigate it properly? I mean, drug connections in cases are very difficult to prove because there's always some sort of cover up. Mm-hmm. But, we also mentioned that the original Joe's restaurant where they first went that night, he was well known there. Now, was he well known because he liked to eat there? Was he well known because he used to use that place as a drug pickup point in the past and someone recognized him there that night or recognized his car and went, oh, that's the idiot who gave us fake money, he's here, let's get him type thing. But then again, why would you go back to targeting Jean's car? But then, like we said, Dick was in Jean's car for a while, so and
yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't know if I have an opinion as to what happened.
Yeah, I think there's so many different possibilities because it's so random. It could have gone in so many different directions.
I think it's easiest to just believe it was random.
Yeah, some just crazed person, either high on drugs or just literally mentally ill, just did not like the license plate or didn't like Dick and Jean, and
somebody wanted to kill somebody, I think.
Yeah. And unfortunately, that's sometimes what cases sometimes boil down to. It's like that case, I don't know if you remember it, what was the guy's name? There was the older couple and they were staying at a truck stop in a caravan in Canada, and someone knocked on the door. They said they were the police and they had to move, so they got up and the man actually came. It was on Unsolved Mysteries, and the man came in with a gun and said, I'm going to rob you and then I'm going to kill you. And so he took some valuable things and shot the woman and tried to shoot the man, but the man escaped.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so it was kind of like that. Basically, the man said, who survived, he said there was no rhyme or reason to this guy. He was simply going to kill someone. That's all he wanted to do.
Right, he was robbing and he didn't want to have anybody identify him.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so, I mean, something just that ridiculous. And I think all he got was a ring, maybe. I think he got the woman's ring. Ugh. And that was about it. And then he shot her, just point blank.
Just terrible.
But the only suspect that comes to mind is the actual man in the car. The composite of Dick's killer is like the photo here that we can include. I'm sure you can include that in the when you upload. He's a white man with a dark complexion. He may be Hispanic or Mediterranean. At the time of the crime, he was in his late 30s or early 40s, which meaning today he would be in his early 60s. Late 60s. He wore glasses with large black frames and had short black hair. And we also discussed what his car was. 1970. What did we say? 1970.
1976 was his truck. Oh no! Well, you mean the killer had a 1970 Le Mans.
Yeah. It was a 2-door coupe with a dull, faded light grey or blue paint job, and he's never actually properly been identified, and the case remains unsolved. And after the Unsolved Mysteries segment, there were many calls and potential leads, such as, I've seen a man that looks like that composite, and I was followed by a man one night that could have been him. But, how many people fit that description of a white man with a dark complexion with glasses?
It's like the majority of the country.
Yeah, a lot of people. And obviously road rage does happen a lot. So, people are going to get road rage most of the time, which is unfortunate because people don't know how to conduct themselves on the road.
It's a pretty popular car. Like, it wasn't a totally uncommon car.
Yeah. And unfortunately, from all those leads, no new helpful information surfaced. And since then, Dick's parents, Gerald and Barbara, have both sadly passed away. But his ex-wife and the daughters still live, as far as we know, in San Jose, California. And Dick was only 36 years old at the time of his death, which is really young. And he's buried in a family plot at Oak Hill Memorial Park in San Jose. So rest in peace, poor Dick.
Yeah. It's sad because it's a truly unsolved crime. And I'm afraid that we're never going to find a resolution here. We're never going to find out who did this.
Yeah, it seems like one of those cases that's really, unfortunately, that's going to be the case. I mean, not much evidence, no DNA, just an eyewitness, no one else. And so, like we said, could go in so many different directions. It's that random. Anything's possible. Yes. Even a mailbox is possible for a reason for being a.
It really could have been anything. It literally, he could have bumped into him on the way to the bathroom in the restaurant, and he just didn't like him.
Yep. Simple as that.
Well, Laura, sorry to leave it all on a negative down note, but I'm glad that we covered this case. Thank you so much for all the work that you put into this. I can't thank you enough for all of that.
No problem.
And I look forward to the next time that we get on here and talk.
Yes, me too. I already have another case in the works. Smart, I sure do.
You are a workaholic.
Oh, well, we love what we do, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We, you know, maybe one day one of the cases will be solved and we can like to say that we maybe helped a tiny, tiny bit.
It'd be amazing. It really would be.
Tonight we have been confronted with an entire catalog of unexplained and unsolved events. Tune in next time as Unsolved Mysteries Rewind discusses another collection of unsolved mysteries. Until then, we can only look and wonder.